Oh, we know where they're going to spend some of their tax dollars.
Where's that, Mike? Where are they spending that money?
Oh, they want to illegally purchase a theater.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, yeah.
And indemnify a liar.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh,
and give a 3.5% loan to the
man, that
to the
white is
restaurants.
right loan. Yes. You need to qualify for the white is right stimmy package from the city of Fresno.
Okay, you need to get out of the picture. You guys get out of the picture. Well, it's just me.
Well, your wife is amazing, but you married a Mexican, so you lost your rights.
Oh.
I'm sure you don't regret it.
Well, and I married a woman, so that loses half my rights.
There you go.
You just couldn't help yourself.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Deshaun, I don't know where you're going. How do you vote, Deshaun? What do you
Run that by the lawyer.
We're going to run that by the lawyer, too. Okay,
No,
go ahead, Deshaun.
Mike Cook said that.
Mike Cook. All right, Mike.
I'll put my name on it. There you go. I'm not running from stuff I said. It's on camera. Record me.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the Not Offended podcast. Hey, this is episode 13. Man, I feel like we're getting older every week. That's what I feel like we're getting. Hey, we switched it up a little bit.
Older.
Yeah, we're getting older, bro. We switched it up a little bit. I got the token next to me. And then, of course, you got the bishop and you got the agent. We switched it up only because in honor of the Celtics pulling off game one. What? Nobody else nobody else even said it. That's right. Maybe Jay can do a little edit in the mix, but I called it last week. Y'all were hating on me, but hold your thoughts because I know we got spanked last night. It's okay. It's okay. I do want to get into it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry. I'd waited like 4 days for this, okay? But I want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Didn't wait one day, that was for sure, because yesterday it didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out, but it's okay. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Also, thank you for sharing and getting the word out. I know we got people not just in the 559 who watch this, so shout out to you guys for spreading the love out there as well. So, hey, let's start spiritual before we definitely start mixing it up with sports talk. And then I got some other stuff I want to throw out to you guys. As you know, tomorrow is midterms. It's some primaries. And so people are voting, especially in the California area. They're going to be voting, especially in our local area. So we're going to talk about that as well. But I want to start off with yesterday. I talked a little bit about, are you expecting your prayers to be answered, right? We talked about Peter got out of jail because the church was praying. And then when he knocked on the door, nobody expected him to be there. So let's talk about this. When you guys pray, what are you expecting exactly? Are you expecting for your prayers to get answered? Or are you expecting maybe God to do something within that? Or just tell me, when you pray, how confident do you feel when you pray? Let's talk about that.
Ooh, okay, I'll start out here. Yeah, I think I go through seasons sometimes.
Okay.
Where, my prayer life is strong and on point, and then, I kind of get lax. I think you spoke about this, is that, consistent prayer, I think, will lead to discipline.
Right.
You touched on that a little bit. But the one part that on your sermon that really stood out to me is you said that prayers accumulate.
Yes.
That they don't evaporate. I believe that's how you put it.
Shout out Jimmy Evans. That was all him.
Yes. And so it's important for me to, just on a consistent basis, have that time where I pray and just be consistent with it. But for me, I go through seasons sometimes. Sometimes it's stronger. My prayer life is stronger than others. So.
All right.
I expect things always to work in my favor.
Okay.
So
what do you mean? Go ahead, break that down.
So I see God in prayer, then go do my part of actually whatever I'm praying. If you're praying for a job, go put those applications in, like you said. But I believe this will work in my favor. So if I might get declined jobs, whatever, it's going to work out. I'm going to have the job I'm supposed to have, because I'm seeking God, and where do you want me to go? Where are you leading me? So it's going to work out for me.
Right. No, that's a good point. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, if we're talking about confidence, I definitely feel like sometimes I'm shooting a layup, and definitely sometimes I'm shooting from full court.
Oh, so you're going Steph Curry and pool last night then? You're going from half court, huh?
Yeah, and so I'm just being transparent. Like certain things that I pray about, I would love to say, I fully believe, but sometimes I don't think I do, and I'm still praying, and I'm hoping that as I continue to pray, I'll get it along the way, and I'll really get to a place where I believe that's going to happen. Do I believe that God can do it? Yeah, absolutely. But sometimes I have stuff that's in my life or people in my life that I care about so much and things that I'm trying to pray for that sometimes it seems very big.
Yeah. I think, and this is just me circling back to yesterday's message and thinking about, I think prayer, and I don't mean this in a condescending way, but I think prayer sometimes can be tricky. It's like you might be convinced this is what you really need. Yeah. And God up there going, trust me, you don't really need that. Like I think about all the unanswered prayers, right? Like just to keep it real surface level. Like I remember like praying for this girl to like me one time. I'm so thankful she didn't like me because I wouldn't be with with Mandy, the woman I love now, right. if I would have answered that prayer. And not to mention, I don't even think that other girl's serving the Lord. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like sometimes prayer could be a little tricky. And that's why I made sure to throw in like prayer is either going to change your situation, circumstance, or it's going to change your perception / perspective, right? Like God is going to change you. Think about all the things we've prayed for. Oh, we really want this. We really want that. And I've said it before, today's answered prayers are tomorrow's yard sales. I mean, it just happens that way. But I don't know. I feel like, am I touching on something there? You agree?
Well, that's what I think for when I play for like personal things for myself. Not that my prayer will get answered in that way I want it to, but it's always gonna work out in my favor. Come seeking God first.
Okay.
So it might not be the way I want it to, but as I continue to seek Him, it's gonna work out for my benefit. So it's not the girl that you wanted, but God's like, no, but I have a girl for you as long as you keep seeking me.
I feel like that's the song. It's not the girl that you want, it's the girl that you need. What? Jake, throw a remix on that, all right? Yeah. No, but that's so true. And I like that part. You said that it's going to work out in favor. We pray on earth as it is in heaven.
Right.
That kingdom come, thy will be done, right?
Yeah.
But I still feel like, I love what you said, confidence, right? Sometimes I feel more confident praying for somebody else than I do for myself. Am I alone in that? Anybody else feel that way? Like I feel more confident praying for you for a job than maybe praying for myself. I don't know. Sometimes I get this way.
Yeah, and I think you hit on the head also. It's like sometimes I think I overthink it when it comes to like, okay, but do I really need this, God? Like I'm praying for it and I want it, but do I really need it? And if I really need it, should I be praying for it? And like I just kind of like start doing a whole game in my head. But I think absolutely I have times where I feel a lot more confident praying for, even you guys in your situations rather than like in mine,
Yeah, I'll piggyback that. It's the same. I have more confidence praying for others than for myself. But I'll even add into that is, I talk about seasons of prayer, prayer life. I pray for big things. I certainly do. But there are times I got to step back and not forget how God's taking care of me on the small things.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
And so God is answering prayers, right? I have family, kids, wife, my health, all those things. And so let's not forget about those prayers that are being answered for us on a daily basis rather than the big things.
So those daily bread, right? Give us
absolutely
daily bread. No, I think you're so spot on. But I feel like, just, walking this earth as a believer, I feel like too, like I said, prayer can be tricky because I feel like it's undervalued and underrated. Mm-hmm. Right? Listen, so I'm saying if prayer is that secret sauce and it's so effective, then why aren't people praying more? You know what I mean? And then why are we in a bad habit of somebody says they need prayer, like, all right, man, I'm going to pray for you later. Well, why not just pray right then and there? Mm-hmm. So, the reason I bring this up is yesterday someone reached out to me on Messenger, and they're like, hey, Pastor, I got a serious situation. My niece ended up missing. I'm like, oh, man, that's crazy. And so I'm like, yo, as soon as you get to, and they said, hey, I'm on my way to church. And I said, okay, as soon as you get here, let's just pray, right? Man, they came up to pray. We prayed. And I want to say within a couple of hours, they found her. And so it was just incredible. It's like, why do we underrate prayer so much? Like, just think about it. I mean, I know this is going to sound real trivial, but anytime anything's lost, I've taught my kids the secret prayer. This is the prayer I always pray.
And everybody who knows you knows the prayer.
This is the prayer. This is it. This has been my life prayer right here. Nothing is lost in the eyes of God. God help me to find what is missing, right?
Oh, that's like twice as long as the one I
I gave you the edited version, but I'm just saying, I feel like we undervalue and underrate. I don't know. Is that just me?
Well, I saw you chime in on JB Wire's podcast.
And, I'm living rent free in somebody's head. It's so funny.
Yeah, and their big thing, because the owner of Granville has the same thing as Miguel.
Yeah.
Like, save your thoughts and prayers.
Right.
The owner of Granville said he believes in prayer, but they're like, I'm tired of hearing that same thing.
Right.
And I understand a little bit what they're saying.
Right.
I might agree with Miguel is what I'm saying a little bit. Like, I understand, like, okay, save your thoughts and prayers. It's like, but I think he's missing the point of prayer.
Correct.
And so I asked you, like, why should we be praying? Like, for those situations, like,
Sure.
in, like, those big events, like, does it change anything? And I don't know if you agree, I can see their frustration sometimes. Is that a cop-out?
Well, so let's take that. I'm glad you asked. Let's break that down a little bit. First off, they say it as a political statement.
Yeah, because I'll say this. I mean, growing up as a non-believer, if they're not seeing anybody who is a believer put actions to the words, then they're saying, yeah, save your prayers. You don't do anything about it. But it is 100% political.
Yeah, they said that because what it is, it's a clarion call to his base. It's just putting it out there like, look how woke I am. Look how progressively left I am. Because I'm going to follow, Ocasio-Cortez. I'm just going to follow what they say, what Kamala Harris says.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an original thought. If he had an original thought, it'd be the first thought that somebody probably didn't give him, right? You know what I mean? So what he's doing is he's just doing a talking point. Now, if you really want to talk about, what is that? I understood what Darius Assimi was saying. He's saying, like, listen, hey, thoughts and prayers are good, but what are we going to do about it as well, right? So, but we say that all the time. Pray like it's all up to God and work like it's all up to you. So that's just ignorance, right? So they don't understand that it's politicizing thoughts and prayers. I opined back and said, okay, so what should you give? Opinions and ridicule, right? What should you do then? Opinions and judgments? I mean, if not thoughts and prayers, I will submit this to anybody who watches this. And I just throw this out there. I have one question. How many school shootings did we have when prayer was allowed in school? How many school shootings have we had since they banned prayer in school? So don't tell me thoughts and prayers don't work. Because that number is astounding. Why? Because you said it the other week, because when you value life. See, this is the other thing. If you look at what's going on, if you don't place a value on something, you'll throw it away. And that's what's going on. So that's what I'm saying. I understood a little bit of what they were trying to say, like we need more causes of actions. Then don't use heavily politicized words already. So if somebody in your family gets sick, right? Well, then guess what? I'll just keep my thoughts and prayers. Because prayers don't work, right? No, we don't do that. You don't ever go to a funeral and people say, hold on to your thoughts and prayers because it didn't work. Dude's dead. Right? And you never say, well, I'm sure glad they went to hell. They're probably having a good time right now. Good old Bob is just doing great. No. See, it's politicized. And that's what we're not supposed to do. You are adding to the problem instead of trying to solve the problem. That's what I would say.
Yeah, because I even think for the average person, there's nothing they really can do. You're not a politician. You can't change laws. All you can do is maybe vote.
He can't even change a law.
So the biggest thing that we can do as believers is pray.
That's it.
That is the biggest thing that we can do. Pray and vote. But because a big thing us as believers, Martin Luther King said this, that laws don't change the heart of man.
They don't.
But laws are good because it'll stop someone from lynching me.
Yes.
But you also said that it's education and religion that change people's hearts.
Absolutely.
It's us that changes the hearts, because what that kid needed is needed a change of heart. And laws can't do that. Gun laws can't do that, but the church can. And that's what he misses. He missed so big. That's what so many people miss. It's like, no, it's us. It's the church. It's our thoughts and our prayers that God doing something that really changes people. It doesn't matter what gun they have. It doesn't matter. The laws, they do help us. They do help protect us. But that is not the thing that's going to help our country. And they miss that so big because they want to be free to do whatever they want. The biggest killer of kids is not guns, it's abortions. And that's what he stands for. It's like, you're such an idiot.
Yeah.
You stand on that side and you think that guns do that. It's not. It's the abortion clinic down the street that kills more kids.
In his district.
It doesn't make any sense. And it's like, what are you guys fighting for? You guys turn around in circles. You just want to be free to do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, we're the ones that bring freedom.
Okay, so
Wow.
Yeah.
Sean had a moment. Mike, he stole your thunder, bro.
We just needed to switch seats. We just had to
You
switch.
need to get next to Bill.
Yeah, here we go.
Boy. I see. I think you're 100. I think you're 100% right. I think this is, well, let's just get right into it since we're just on the subject. We have another skipper. I think that's what you guys call them in the major leagues, right? Skippers. Managers,
yeah, skippers, yeah.
Speaking of the gun violence, this is the Giants coach. You said his name was Kapler, right?
Yeah, Gabe Kapler.
Gabe Kapler came out and said, "I'm not coming out while the national anthem's being played." Although he did it for Memorial Day, because remember, Memorial Day is for the people who have died fighting for this country. But he said, "Past that, I'm not coming out." because I don't like the direction the country's going in when it comes to the gun laws. I want to submit something to you guys. First off, what is your thoughts about politics and sports, right? And then second, what's he trying to get across? What's the message? What's the branding here? I mean, I'm a little lost. Anybody want to start? Is politics and sports, do they mix, or have they been polarized? Where do you guys stand? Do you care?
Yeah, well, I think it's lose-lose with a lot of times with the athletes.
Okay.
You know, we hate that they don't say anything, and then when they do say stuff, we're like, you're an idiot. You need to, or like you automatically think that because they're an athlete, they're dumb.
Oh, okay.
People are mad at Jordan for not saying anything. People are mad at LeBron for saying something.
That's true.
Yeah, and then they go, oh, you need to just shut up and dribble, right? And that was a big thing with the NBA players for a little bit. This is what I say. I believe that there should be a platform, and they should be able to speak.
Okay.
But you should be able to speak freely on either end, whether you're conservative or whether you're liberal. You should be able to express.
Do you feel like that's
platform.
not happening? Do you feel like that's
Heck no.
Okay.
Look up Enos Cantor.
Bro, that
his
is
name's
sad.
not Enos Cantor anymore. Just wherever you're at when we're done, look up what happened to his NBA career when he came out against China.
Yeah, in Turkey.
But specifically when he
China.
came out against China, because the NBA has so much money tied up in China,
right?
That he can't even land a job now.
No, you're right. Yeah.
And so I believe that they should be able to express themselves because you have a platform in order to do so. Now we should be able to say, hey, we agree or we disagree.
Right?
You shouldn't be censored. That's what they do.
Yeah,
They censor.
absolutely.
If you're conservative, you're censored.
Yeah.
Or if you speak out against anything big money, you're censored.
Yeah, that's so true. But I hate it. I hate when politics is interjected into sports. You know, because
they shouldn't talk about politics.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if between the lines, okay, when you're playing the games,
so keep
politics out there. Like if you
100%.
personally
keep the flag,
want
all these different flags, keep them off the jerseys, all that.
Correct. Between the lines, when it comes to the games, as a fan, I'm going to the games. I don't want to hear about all this other stuff, right? I'm taking my son and kids to go have a hot dog. I don't want to be hearing about all this political stuff and then having to have these conversations with my kids when I'm watching TV with them, right? I go to watch sports to get away from all that, right?
Yeah.
I don't pay the money to go see games or put it on television to get more politics.
Right.
That's my time. I get 2 or 3 hours away from it all. And so I hate it. But as far as the athlete personally, you know, these guys have a big platform, like on social media. If you want to go and you want to speak out on there, fine, do it. But when the whole league as a whole comes out politically and they take a stand on things, it just divides, you know, fans, more division in this country. And then secondly, I mean, what does it do to a team, right? You have Enos Cantor on a team. Ooh. You know, now he's
a pariah.
Exactly.
They got to get rid of him.
And so what do you do with him? And so to me, anything that is between the lines, that is not about winning or playing the game, you know, leave it out. So
D?
These are on the other side. Yeah, we should use our platform to talk and think so.
No, I mean, the whole point of protesting or standing out for things is to make people feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
So that's a point I sort of disagree on. People are like, oh, don't do this there. I'm here just for my sport. So it's like, well, their whole goal is to make you feel uncomfortable.
Right.
Their whole goal is to make you upset, to make you think about it. That's their goal. That's the whole point of it. And there's going to be people who don't like that.
I agree. I'm not saying it's not effective. Right, they're going to be in front of a camera. They're going to get asked by the press about it. I'm not saying it's not effective. So I get that.
Yeah.
So
that's the point. Like when people talk about Kaepernick and him like not standing for the flag, like how could you do? It's like, well, you're getting pissed off. That's his whole point. He wants you to talk about it. He wants you to be angry about it.
That didn't work out very well for him, though.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
I think
No, hold on.
This manager right now, to me, he's a coward.
No, listen. Okay, we'll get that.
Because if you're going to do it, then do it. Don't back out now because you're going to get backlash because Memorial Day weekend. No, you're a coward for that.
Oh,
if you're going to do it, go do it.
What I'm saying by it didn't work out for Kaepernick, just real quickly, is he's not in the league.
Well, he got paid. And what was his goal?
But the whole to me, and I could be wrong, to me, it wasn't about getting paid. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, it is always about the money. But what I'm saying is he said he was competitive. So I'm thinking then the goal was to still be in the league. What this is going to mark 5 years he's been out the league? So he ain't doing but nothing but getting older. So I'm saying it backfired for him. If the goal was to stay in the league and raise awareness, that backfired.
Oh, I don't know if that was number one goal. Maybe he wanted both.
I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I'm just saying if the goal was to be in the league, that's all I'm saying. Okay, now go back to the skipper. You were going to say, I agree with you, but you know, I don't know. I'm kind of split between all of you guys, but the one thing I do agree on, if you're going to do it, you got to have a deep conviction and just go all in.
I'm not even saying you should do it.
I know, but I'm with you. If you're going to come out and tell everybody how I'm doing it, then Memorial Day, Veteran Day, every day, July 4th day. You better just do it.
Did he not look at the calendar?
Nope.
It's like, God, I started too early. You started trying to diet right before your birthday. It's like, you didn't know your birthday was coming?
Hey,
you couldn't have waited until the week of
July 6th. July 6th, I'm coming in hard.
I got a strong conviction. Ooh. Okay, we're going to start again on Monday.
Yeah.
That's true, though.
Again, to me as an athlete, you know, for athletes, I don't like it because I'm trying to go out there and compete, right? And I'm trying to beat the other team, and then I got to answer all these other questions. You know, it's taken away for the game for me. So,
you know, this is funny. I agree with all of you. I do have my own personal beliefs. So this is the deal. When it comes to the flag salute and when it comes to standing for the flag, I just do. And the reason I do is my grandfather fought in the war. My father is a veteran. Like all my uncles, I mean, everybody in my family, right? So I'm third generation Mexican. And I'm pretty much both sides. And so everybody was in the military. My grandfather was drafted. You know, he fought in World War II. The man was salty. You know, every time, like, you know, we went anywhere and he saw a flag, he saluted it. And like, if I wasn't doing something, he'd hit me, you know. He was just so patriotic that way, right? And even though he came back, and speaking on that, right, it is to make you feel uncomfortable. Even though my grandfather came back and he wasn't afforded the luxuries and amenities of the white people who came back after fighting from the war, he still had the utmost respect. It did give him an opportunity to use his VA loan to buy a house and all this other stuff, right? I just grew up with that respect. That's just how I grew up, right? So I know America's not perfect, right? But this is the place where people get in aluminum boats and will brave the choppiest ocean waters to get here just to get a chance. People climb over walls, dig holes, do whatever they need to do just to get a chance of this American dream. Granted, she's had her flaws and her problems. So for me, I'm with you on this, Bill. Just play the game. I'm with you, though. Use your platform, right, D? Use your platform to spread awareness, make people uncomfortable, and all this other. I get it. I'm with you on that, too. I'm with you on this. Have a deep conviction. So I'm with everybody, but I do think time and place. That's me, because here's what I will say. You over here picking on America, but China's worse. Ask Brittany Griner. Where's she locked up in?
Russia.
She's in Russia. China, Russia. Yeah. These places are worse. Hey, man, I've been traveling the world. I'm going to tell you something. When you over there, America looking real good, because trust me, where would Brittany rather be right now? You know, those guys got locked up in China. Remember Trump was president? Those guys got locked up. Where would they rather be? They'd rather be right here in America.
Oh, yeah, UCLA guys.
Remember? I got pulled off a bus in a Middle Eastern country, and trust me, when I got pulled off, you know, the first thing I thought was, man, I should like to be home right now. They walked me into a room. They said, we'll give you a lawyer if we feel you need one. What? I'm like, that right there scares me. I need one. We're Shapiro and Cochran when I need them, right?
We're going to tell you what your rights are,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
America looking real good.
Yeah, and so on these topics, another thing I don't like is, in order for me to get my message out, I have to stomp on another message.
Right.
You know, that's wrong. So it should be able to have its own message on its own. So.
Well, it's just, I mean, we just live in such a polarizing time.
It's polarizing.
If I would have said everything that you just racist.
Another white man.
look at it. He's oppressing everybody in the room right now.
I think it's called colonizing.
Yeah. I am currently colonizing all 6 people in the room right now. Look at I can see his white hood in the corner.
Well, Bill, you're half white. How do you feel about that? Do you agree?
Half of them got colonized now. The other half's free.
I like being both sides, man. I can play both sides of this.
I do love America.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm not even saying what Kaepernick did was right.
Right.
I'm just saying his he wanted to get people angry, upset, and pay attention to.
Right.
Him. And that's why I didn't understand. I'm like, okay, that's what his goal.
Well, and the beauty of that is that he had an opportunity to even do that. I mean, in other countries, they didn't just kill them.
Without a doubt, they had that freedom to do that. The reason I'm okay leaving the country because I know I'm American. I can come right back and nobody protect me. Maybe.
Hey, don't go to Russia.
Yeah. So certain places.
He's got a good point. He's got a good point.
According to Dave Chappelle, they don't steal black people because they know America ain't gonna come in to go get them. Mike might have a trouble.
Hold on, right here. We quoted Dave Chappelle on the Not Offended podcast. This is a beautiful day.
Deshaun can travel the world freely. I'm a walking ATM.
Yeah. Hey, I'll piggyback there. My youngest son, light-haired, blue eyes. We take him to Mexico. We guard him a little bit more. It's
this
true.
Is going down here.
Hey, so we got guards for him.
Yeah. So the question is, Gabe Kapler, right? What do you think he's trying to get? I don't know what he's trying to get across. I guess that's what I'm asking. What's your messaging? What's your branding? What are you trying to get across? I think it has something to do with gun control. Here we are again. By the way, woke up this morning to a horrendous Philadelphia shooting. Yeah. I think 2 or 3 dead, 14 injured.
What was it? What kind of shooting was it?
It was
a nightclub or something.
No, partying outside in like a square area, and the guy just started shooting people. There was people fighting, and then he just started randomly shooting people. And of course, it was not an AR. If you look at the big thing, seems to be the AR-15s. They think every shooting that happens is an AR-15, right? And it's not. Usually they're handguns. But I just think this is interesting because talk about polarizing. Let me throw this out there. Most of these shootings happen in Democratic-ran cities. Look at Chicago. There's a reason why they call it Chiraq. The places too. Now I even go a step further. They're usually heavily restricted gun areas. So here's my question: are these guys really going to the gun store and buying a gun? Probably not. They're probably getting them, from somebody selling them out of the trunk of a car. So I just think if you're trying to do effective branding and messaging, you may want to sit down and just brainstorm a little bit and come up with some creative solutions. I don't know. Am I wrong on that? What do you guys think?
So what's the end goal? Like, we're just gonna eliminate all guns?
I don't even know. I don't even know what their target is.
I mean, that's the big reason why they will say Republicans don't want to give anything up, because it's just a next step of you just want to take all our guns. So if I give you this little bit, you're going to go this far. So forget it. I'm not giving you anything.
Okay, is there truth? I don't listen.
I don't know. It's just political.
Okay.
That's the problem. So it's how do you find a solution? You don't, because we're just always going to be at odds with one another.
I mean, because I'm pretty sure we can't legally buy an Uzi. Or
California, you can't do anything, and it's still
okay.
Everyone has to get background checked. Everyone has to go. The ARs that you get are heavily modified, and it's those aren't even assault rifles.
So this ain't like Alabama.
No, it's not.
This ain't like Texas.
Yeah, it's we're not in the South. But yeah, it's a lot harder. Every time I go buy ammo, they run my background every single time
for ammo.
Yeah, and so there are people tripping California's already that way. So anytime you see a shooting, the laws are there already in California.
Wow, that's crazy. I don't know. I don't know that. See, that's my point. I hear people talk, but they never say their end game. Like, hey, this is the goal we're trying to hit. I feel, and I could be wrong, I feel like the goal they're trying to hit is nobody has weapons. Nobody has a gun.
They'll be like, we've got to stop this gun violence, and it's like, is anybody saying no? Keep going. We're doing it right. Let's have another shooting.
Yeah.
What's their agenda?
Well, I don't know. I think. Why is one killing different than the other? Why do we talk about mass killings versus? We see here in the city of Fresno, there's a shooting. 2 teens. I think we're out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
One, boom, boom, dead.
I do think it hits people different when you see kids getting killed.
Sure,
so you think because
absolutely.
It was a school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kids getting killed at school is gonna rock the boat.
Yeah,
100%.
But even on that JV Wire, it was one of the doctors said on there, hey, we can do this by making schools harder targets. And then
totally agree.
And Miguel comes out I don't want to look like a prison. I'm like, bro, relax. I went to Sanger High literally to get out of school. I couldn't get out of school, so my one friend would get out of school, go get his car, drive around. We have to hop the fence. It was down like a prison. We never thought, man, this is a prison. It was no, we can't leave the campus, so we gotta find a way to sneak out. Yeah. And it's a big deal. My kids, to get my daughter into our school, we have to get buzzed in. She doesn't go, oh man, this is a prison. What are you talking about? Kids don't see it that way, or what they're getting taught by their parents that way. Maybe Miguel's kids see it that way because he can taught that cops are bad. My kid sees a cop and like, oh man, there's a cop. I'm thinking you get seatbelt on and everything, but they're like, oh, there's a cop, and waving hi to the cop. That's how they view it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I'm checking to make sure seatbelts are on. 10 and 2 hand positions. Yeah.
Tax
sure.
still good.
Yeah, tax
I got
good.
insurance. We're good. Okay.
Yeah. I got insurance. I paid it this month. Yeah. No, I think that's interesting. You bring up a good point on the schools, right? Like, I don't know why. See, you go to Congress to make things difficult. You go to city council to make things difficult because the average person makes it real simple. Put a couple. Listen, I agree with everybody posting this stuff. We just sent $40 billion to the Ukraine. Article broke this weekend that some weapons are being stole out of the Ukraine and sold on the black market right now. They're with your tax money. Now, I'm not saying don't help Ukraine. What I'm saying is help America. Take that 40 bill, right? Call it the next stimmy. Put 2 armed guards at the schools. And right away, you're gonna cut them. You're gonna cut them 99%. Why? Because people don't want to go through all that trouble. Here's the other thing. You said it earlier. Laws will only just slap people on the hand to get them to think about doing it. But Christ will change their human nature. And I go back to saying what I said before. We don't have Bible classes on the campus. We don't have prayer on the campus. How are the kids connecting? They spend all the time on social media in front of computers and all this stuff. Yo, somebody posted the other day, you know how you knew your friends? When I was growing up, you know how you knew your friends was over? All the bikes would be out in front. That's how you knew where everybody was. Where's that?
I don't even see kids on bikes anymore. I just see the dudes on crack on bikes. Other than that,
hey, that's impressive though. Sometimes they'd be carrying like 7 carts and stuff. Like I'd be impressed.
A rule of thumb is if you're over the age of 20 and you're on those little BMX bikes, you have to know good.
That's cool. Okay, Mike, thank you so much for your analysis on riding a bike if you're over the age of 20. Man, I don't even know where to go from there. But hey, we have a local politics coming up, and it is the season for people. We also have statewide politics, but local and state. But people always come up and say, hey, well, I don't know who to vote for. Who are you voting for? How do we do this? What's going on? And so let's just walk people through some of our methods on how to vote for the right candidate, if there's such thing as a right candidate, but the candidate that you feel you'd most align with. Mike, take us through what's your methodology, or how do you go through voting for somebody? How do you figure it out?
Well, I think that we all have kind of areas where we feel more strong than others. You know, some people may feel really strongly about more of a state government rather than local. I feel really passionate, I guess not really passionate, but passionate more with local than I am with maybe even national.
Well, yeah, we're directly affected by local.
And so, I mean, we were telling people, hey, you got to, do your homework. And I was just asking you guys a little while ago, like, how do you go about doing your homework? Because for some of these candidates, they don't really have a lot of history.
Right.
Or they don't have a website. Or, like, how do you even know if this person is someone who I can align with or be affiliated with? And so one of the things that I started looking at when I was specifically looking at the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools was what's the word I keep forgetting the word? Who is endorsing this person? And then I'm looking at this endorsement list going, okay, I know that person, not like personally, but I know that person. I've seen their history and they're endorsing this person. Okay, I know that person and I know their history and I don't support that. So I'm looking at those endorsement lists. So for instance, with Darren Miller, I saw his endorsement list and I was like, oh, I don't align at all with that. And then I started looking a little bit more into his background, and I was like, okay, I for sure don't align with that because he's part of this group, this local newspaper who believes that we're right-wing, we're a right-wing church. So I'm like, okay, I don't want somebody who is going to be in this position of, basically looking over curriculum and looking over, schools who has this affiliation with people who think that I'm right-wing. I mean, I know I'm the white one in the room, but...
You are the white one in the room. Not the right one, the white one in the room, yes.
Wait, I am the right one.
I don't know about that.
Just because I'm not right-wing, I am not a wrong one. Okay. So that was that's kind of the things that I was looking at is, who is signing off on them and do I agree with them? And I will say this about local politics. I think oftentimes we see people who climb the ladder politically and we look at each other going like, hey, how did this person even get there? Well, they got there because they started somewhere. And so we oftentimes will brush over some of these smaller seats.
For instance, like Annalisa Perea.
Right.
She's on what is that? A
State community board.
State
for
community
college,
board.
yeah.
and now she's trying to run for city council.
Right. So it's like let me try to get into, maybe it's the Fresno Unified School Board.
I would like to ask her too. What's her angst against Adventure Church? Like, what do you got against our church? What do you got against a Bible believing church? You're supposed to be, remember, racial equity and pro-Hispanic and all this other stuff. I would just like to ask her, what is your angst against me, our church, that you're out there protesting?
Maybe she hates white people because I am.
You are.
White.
It's all your fault.
And I am right.
That's what it was. But
Yeah, she actually came out GV Wire. She's been out there at the protest, but she came out on a GV Wire and said she wished the Painted Table had bought the theater. But
Well, I wish I
anyways.
had $1 million, right?
Yeah,
So keep
we all
on
can't get what we
wishing.
wish for. We all can't get what we wish for. But I was
So
like,
that was her solution to the
but
whole thing.
She doesn't know us. She's never met us.
Yeah.
But yet she's so opinionated about us. Are you anti-God? Are you anti-church? Are you anti-family? Are you anti-Bible? Because that's
Well,
we're-
I think this goes into what my saying. Endorsements are super important, and so if the people she's looking up to, Esmeralda and Miguel, are against it, then she's automatically going to.
Well,
be
so that
against
was
it
real
too.
simple, right? If
Yeah.
Miguel and Esmeralda are signing up,
Yeah.
you probably want to vote the other way, right? That's just that simple.
Correct. I think that's how she approached it.
Right.
So, but
Okay, so what about you, Bill?
Yeah,
What
for
do
me,
you do?
So for me, I know some of the people running and politically, but for somebody who's just coming in, I would say ask questions, ask others who voted before. Well, how do you go about this, and maybe the people you can trust how they're going to vote. I know for myself, my wife and I sit down and we talk about it.
Okay.
We talk about why this person versus that person, and for me, I just keep it super simple. Especially when it comes to local politics. Have you ran a business before? Okay, and so you're going to be running budgets and things. And so, do you have that experience on there? What's your stance on taxes? And so, and then what are your beliefs? And so, I just keep it super
good.
simple, and I start with that. As far as
you're
the social
speaking-
things,
Hey, you're speaking to Sean's language right there. On
Bill
tax.
care about that
taxes.
money. Bill's looking with that money. Can you budget it and you go tax me?
because I think that's the season that we're in, and so that's going to be a big part, especially locally. They're going to take your tax dollars and where they're going to spend it. And so, are they responsible with that?
Oh, we know where they're going to spend some
Yeah.
of their tax dollars.
Where's that, Mike? Where are they spending that money?
Oh, they want to illegally purchase a theater
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, yeah. Little
and
news flash.
indemnify a liar.
Oh,
No, there you
indemnify.
go.
I had to look up that word,
And
but
give
I
a
don't know if you
3.5%
do that.
loan to
Oh,
the
man,
to
that
the
white is
restaurants.
right loan. Yes.
Yes.
You need to qualify for the White is Right STEMI package from the city of Fresno.
Okay, you need to get out of the picture. You guys get out of the picture. Well, it's just me. It's just me.
Well, your wife is amazing, but she married a Mexican, so you lost your rights.
Oh.
I'm sure you don't regret it.
Well, and I married a woman, so that loses half my rights.
There you go.
Just couldn't help yourself.
I
could you?
couldn't.
Yeah.
Deshaun, I don't know where you're going. How do you vote, Deshaun? What do you
We're gonna run that by the lawyer.
We're going to run that by the lawyer, too. Okay,
No,
go ahead, Deshaun.
Mike Cook said that.
Mike Cook. All right, Mike.
I'll put my name on it.
There you go.
I'm not running from stuff I said. It's on camera. Record me.
Deshaun.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Segue to that,
Yeah,
Deshaun.
yeah, go
You're
ahead,
up,
Deshaun.
man. You got to follow that.
I look at endorsements. How I'm gonna vote for the sheriff based on endorsements. Mims endorsed someone, so I'm probably gonna
Right,
vote.
right.
Because I like what she stood for. So I'm gonna go towards that. Also, I think even commercials. I look at a lot of the commercials. It's funny. They would be hating on the candidate. Like, oh man, he doesn't protect women's rights. I'm like, oh, he's pro-life. Oh, I'm gonna go for that. Thank you so much for that. You idiot. But anyway,
That's an interesting way to look at
like,
commercials.
Why you hating on them? Okay, I actually like that guy. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna vote for you. But endorsements are a big reason, big influence of how I vote.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. You got to be careful of who endorses you. So, like in the seat one, right, City Council seat one, Soria's what is she termed out? So she's gonna go run for state, right, for a state seat, and she's running against Corbasi. Let's just use your method, Bill. Corbasi's owned a business and ran a business. Has Esmeralda ever had a job outside of a
Annalisa.
What was that?
Annalisa?
No, has Esmeralda, just going to their seat. Has she ever had a job outside of politics?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if she did.
So has she owned a business? Has she ran a company?
Not that I know. No running businesses.
See, that's what I'm saying. So she's been a career politician, right? So that should be the first red flag. In my book, Corbasi's had this experience of running, and Corbasi knows how to work with the other side. I've watched it. I've seen it on display, and she's just hardcore one way. Yeah. It's this way. It's whatever Ocasio-Cortez says or Biden says, and I'm okay because the economy's doing great right now. It's $7 a gas, $27 for a bag of chicken wings. The economy's great.
Well, if you didn't know, all of a sudden she's running as a moderate for the seat. So she's turning the whichever way the wind goes.
I've never seen a more left-leaning moderate in my entire life. So that's that one. So we got the 1, 3, 5, 7. So in the seat 1, you got Briggs, you got Annalisa, you got Catalano, and you got Jeremy Price, right? Yes. So you guys have to do your homework. And then on seat 3, which is Miguel's, right? Mm-hmm. You got Miguel, and I think you got Nicholas Wildstar, who's running in that. You guys have to do your homework. But both of those people so far, you got Annalisa and you got Miguel, both are anti-adventure church. And then in C5, you got Esparza, right? That's C5.
Yeah.
And you got Esparza against Courtney Westphal. We've had her do your homework on that. Esparza is the council president, allegedly threatening a city attorney, and then of course voting to indemnify Lawrence and to do all this other stuff, give Sequoia free money, taxpayer money, and all this other good stuff, right?
It ain't his money, so he don't care.
Of course, allegedly all this, and then of course 7, Luis Chavez, and we've got nothing bad to say about him. He's been a very fair person. Once again, teacher. He's actually had a job. All these things. So that's locally what's going on. We want to encourage everybody to do your homework. I like what you said about the school board, right? So I think it's Miller against a lady by the name of Michelle Kofer. Is that
Cantwell Kofer?
Cantwell Kofer.
There's a third person in that race too.
Okay, but we encourage you to do that. We try to give you the best we can on these different things. Before we go, though, because I have to, because on the last podcast for the faithful followers and their Boston Celtics fans, I called game 1.
The faithful followers are Boston Celtics.
No, I said for those faithful, for the few that are out there,
the few,
there's a whole lot of Golden State fans. Let's do this. Let's go back to our predictions. And has anybody wavered? Mike, who's going to win this championship and how many games? Let's go.
Golden State in 6.
Okay, Bill,
not
what
wavering.
you got?
Look, I'm not moving off of there. I said Golden State in 5.
You will be buying lunch.
But hey, I'm telling you, I was super nervous Sunday morning because if I came to the podcast and we were 0-2, that would not have been a good day for me. But we're 1-1, so I'm still worries in 5. I'm sticking to it.
What you got over here, Bishop? Greatness again. Come on.
I really don't care, but I mean, the Celtics have a shot because now I'm playing a bunch of plumbers. But
Man, such a shot at every chance you get. Just say it. They're not playing a bunch of white guys.
Yeah. They're not playing a bunch of white guys.
There it is.
Just got off work, tired, back hurt, take care of 10 kids.
Okay, so you got the Warriors in what?
I think the Warriors will win, maybe in 7. I don't know. As long as they win, I'll be happy. As long as the Celtics don't win.
Okay, so to all my Celtics fans out there, I'm holding true. I'm not budging. I'm saying we're going to go ahead and get this at 7. I'm keeping the faith. I'm obviously going to have some earnest prayers, and I'm going to be expecting. So I don't know how you guys are praying. I don't know if God's involved in basketball, but we're going to find out. I'm going to be praying earnestly, and we're going to see what's happening. Hey, we want to thank everybody who tunes into the Not Offended podcast. We know near and far people will be tuning in. We encourage you, no matter where you're at, look at your own local politics.
Yeah.
Follow a little bit of the recipe that we gave today, and also in the state politics as well. We just encourage you. Elections have consequences. It's very important that you turn out and vote. Many people have died for us to have that opportunity, so it's very important. Even if you haven't voted before, now's a good time to start. We just encourage you to do that. Hey, if you're in the 559, if you're in the Fresno area, please come see us. We meet Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. and 11. We meet in the Historic Tower Theater. We would love to have you as a guest. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this link because you'll be sharing the love, and we're out. Peace.